Freya Speaks. If you're here, you're meant to hear this message. We opened a portal live on TikTok for Joshua. And although this is an individual message, if you're here, you are meant to hear this message. And this message is going to speak of a battle, a war, shifting timelines, bouncing our consciousness from a lower realm to a higher realm, and how our diet affects our reality. So Joshua is in a lower realm as a train conductor, and then he bounced to a higher realm. And so he switched gods, basically. His spirit guides switched. So Freya is his new spirit guide, and Freya is connected to cats and the wild boar. If you look at 5 o'clock, there's 2 cats and there's a wild boar. It seems as if you are Freya's twin brother, Freyr. So there's Freya and Freyr. And Freya is bringing forward the 2 cats and the boar and other energies that speak of being in a lower realm and stepping into our power, bouncing our consciousness. You also have Enlil in your piece, and this Enlil energy is suggesting that we went from a lower realm to a higher realm. So this wild boar is about a war or a battle within ourselves. And it begins to manifest outside of ourselves as well. It's like our cells in our body is a prison cell, and we release God within us by going through a battle. The wild boar's name is Hildisphony, and I think that he's pretty prominent in your piece. He's associated with the number 12 in your piece. This reflects 12 hours, 12 months, 12 zodiac signs. Now, you being the train conductor, on the Matrix, there was a train conductor who had power over someone's reality. He could put Neo Anderson in a purgatory where he was stuck at the train station forever. What's significant is Rick and Morty. I believe Rick and Morty, the writer of it, knows something that we don't. Train conductor on Rick and Morty was killed, and according to your piece, a part of you died and you bounced to another reality. Look at your piece at 6 o'clock where a man died and there's a shield on his head. Look at the shield in this piece with Rick and Morty. It's the exact same shield. So the good news is we never experienced death, even though somehow we died. And I don't know how that works. I don't know if it's actually true, but I've seen it many times. This world that we live in is dominated by reptilians, the lower world, the moon world, when we are in the moon energy. And the sun flips every 11 years. Now, the sun emits an electromagnetic field, and so does your heart. So somehow our hearts became awoken and we shifted to the sun energy. Now, it looks like we're in the same world, but we're not. We shifted. And so the smoke of the train is going to be significant for you as well as the train conductor and who you are. Now you're holding the San Francisco Bridge, and I found it really interesting that the statue of Benjamin Franklin is in San Francisco. So all of this energy is really diverting your attention to San Francisco. Now, Benjamin Franklin in your piece has the letter M under him, and he is a skull. And the skull is cracked in half with one world on one side and another world on the other side, like 2 rings of power. And although Benjamin Franklin was highly intelligent and was famous for his experiments and for really changing the world, he was a jokester and people loved him because of his sense of humor. Benjamin Franklin reflects an old world that is dead. And so promiscuity, where Benjamin Franklin slept around with a bunch of women even though he was married, he had a moral compass that was normal in that time, but we've shifted to a new age. So the age of promiscuity, eating what we want, gluttony, being an alcoholic is over. So Freya is holding up 2 mirrors. This is like the Return to Oz, where Dorothy saw her higher self in a mirror. And this mirror world is explaining that the world we came from wasn't really real. It was like a simulation. And when you bounce to the real world, this is the truth. This is stepping into your godhood, stepping into your gift and your power, and following a divine voice, and actually seeing yourself for who you are. And Freya is holding up two mirrors, one mirror with a god holding an ankh, and the other one with a little Miss Muffet sitting on her tuffet eating curds and whey. Along came a spider and frightened her away. So a tuffet is a spiritual chair. You're wanting to learn from spirit and you're wanting to become powerful, right? But when we eat foods that our body is allergic to, or that actually destroys our temple. Your body is a temple. It should be a sanctuary. It should be holy. And curds and whey was for poor people. It was poor people food. And the reason it's poor people food is because it's not really good to eat. It's fermented milk, kind of like cottage cheese. So when we eat foods that lower our power and our energy and our electromagnetic energy and that connection to the sun, spiders will appear in our lives and frighten us away. So food will actually bring negative things in your life. Now let's talk about smoke, because there's smoke from the train and smoke from a pipe that you have in your mouth. So in the world that you came from, you are associated with the smoke, and the world that you have bounced to, you are still associated with smoke. When something burns, it is surrendering its defined, solid, physical form, and its spirit is being released to the air, while the ash falls to enrich the earth. Smoke is an extremely powerful spiritual magical tool. You can perfume the smoke, burning myrrh, incense, and papers can be found in almost every place of worship on the planet. Temples and churches and pagan sites use these things, and your body is a temple. Tobacco was a quality of being able to absorb toxins and bug bites. When you pray with it, it absorbs your prayers. So it has a very absorbing energy. The problem was we're not supposed to misuse it and smoke it every day. So if you've ever thought about getting into the healing energy of smoke, maybe you can help to anoint people's homes with smoke. African violet is for protection. Allspice is for uplifting energy. I would love to hire someone to use special herbs to smoke my home, especially my attic, which reflects your subconscious mind. The basement is your past. And so using these herbs will help you, and maybe you can help others as well. I think it's a very colorful thing to do, and not many people do it. And tobacco was never meant to be used or smoked the way that we consume it in our society today. So white people misused tobacco, which was a sacred medicine for the native people. You have a little tiny dancer above your head, and this is the Elton John song, Jesus freaks out in the streets, handing tickets out for God. Turning back, she just laughs, the boulevard is not that bad. I think that this is saying something about truly following your spiritual guidance and leading. You are the number 23. The oracle was mentioned in the Bible, 23. If any man speaks, let them speak with the voice of God, which is the voice of the oracle. And dog is God. And so you have shifted spirit guides. So once upon a time, you were under the narcissistic dominance of the reptilians, and hallelujah, you bounced from the moon to the sun. And when we bounce from the moon to the sun, we step into our power. We're free. And your new spirit guide isn't a jerk. Your new spirit guide is Freya. And you are somehow the twin of Freya. And so connecting back with Freya and the brother of Freya is what you're being asked to do. Be careful what we eat. What we eat creates our reality. And I know it's so strange, but this new world that we're in, we're going to have to behave differently. We can't be the Benjamin Franklin because things have changed. The paradigm has changed. It includes sexual behavior, what we eat, what we think, who we hang around with, what we do with our lives. We're not in that conventional reptilian world anymore. It's time that we become the master, kind of like the white wizard Gandalf. Near your ear is the white holy dove and the owl. So you are learning from the spirit of wisdom. So just keep searching, keep researching, get into alchemical symbologies, get into astrology, get into everything you can to be able to speak the voice of that master. Above the dog are two fish going into a portal that looks like the sun. And so this is another communication from Freya to you that, well, we went through a portal. We don't remember. It happened like a thief in the night. You have the yellow brick road on your face, and this reflects Dorothy began the Yellow Brick Road as a spiral. This is a spell. And she began to grow her spirit bigger and bigger and bigger until finally she realized that she had the power all along and could fly over the 7 colors of the rainbow like a pretty little bluebird. And that bluebird and that bird is near you, explaining to you that you have flown over the 7 colors of the rainbow. You just didn't experience it like in your face. You just woke up and ta-da, the world was different. So the number 8 next to you, 88, reflects eternal life, the infinity symbol, balancing the sun and the moon. You are now learning from the energy of the sun. And so it's kind of like you're in a learning place, and you're going to learn kind of like at Hogwarts until we are released from the learning place and we go to our divine state. Christians would correlate it to being in the belly of the whale or the eye of the needle. It's a learning place. And this is a place we have been released from a prison. We're learning from the 7 spirits of God. These energies will come to you like Freya and teach you so many things that we've been asleep to for so long. And one day when you step into your power and you become really, the person you were divinely meant to be, suddenly we, like before, will shift from the world we were in, or the reptilian world, to the in-between place, which is where we are now, to this place that is the real world, not the mirror world. So all of us are sort of in this in-between place. We're all awakening, and we are all stepping forward into pulling back that shield over our eyes and opening our ears and seeing truth and following a pathway of life and a collective consciousness. It's an awesome experience. So you are being asked to help people at this time to smudge their homes, and you are being asked to watch your diet and smudge your body. And as you learn to heal yourself, you're going to teach others to do the same. This is a temporary thing because we're always growing. So you're going to grow, and you're going to do more than that. But in the meantime, this is what Freya is teaching you about what you are going to do and what you're going to do to heal yourself and heal others. The lion next to the heart at your third eye is reflective of the sun, and the heart chakra is the portal that bounces us from the moon to the sun. Forgiveness, letting go, surrendering, and hearing a divine order of God. This is the dog. That is at 11 o'clock. And the sun flips every 11 years, and your head is pointing toward the number 11. Thank you, Freya, for teaching us about the death of the Benjamin Franklin within us and about the awakening of truth and the mirror world and stepping in to our power, going from manhood to godhood and becoming a collective consciousness where we shift into amazing realities. I hope this gives you hope. I hope this gives you joy. And I hope that you take some of these messages really seriously, because it's not time to be living the way we used to live. We have to change everything. Thank you for what you have to teach us, Joshua. And thank you, Freya, for your lessons to the collective as well. I double, triple dog dare you to go to the San Francisco Bridge and just touch it, and go to the statue of Benjamin Franklin and just look at it, just to get that energy inside you to understand what Freya is saying to you. I thought you might like to see your piece as a mirror. Notice the boar is the beginning, and then the 2 cats, and then the kingdom, and then a doorway. And then this letter M is like the matrix, the master magician, magic. What? And then you're the twin, and Freya is a twin, and there is a Metatron looking god in the center controlling all things. Gets interesting, doesn't it? Ooh. So the letter M could be a Metatron energy, which is kind of like the voice of sacred geometry. I also think it's kind of funny that the house that you left behind looks like Dorothy's house, and the San Francisco Bridge looks like the 7 colors of the rainbow. I find it interesting that Osiris is Oz, Iris, if you split it up. And the land of Oz is a place, and Iris is the goddess of the rainbow. So there may be some kind of correlation to you going from Kansas, which is jerk world, to Oz, which is a place of magic, Metatron, and the master magician, which you are supposed to be one day.